Hey, this is Sensibility Speaks. Welcome to my channel. Thanks for stopping by, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. All right, y'all, it is about that time. Let's sip some sensibility, shall we? So at this juncture, I think everybody knows about the impending divorce between Monique Samuels and her estranged husband, Chris Samuels, or ex-husband, shall I say. But baby, when I tell you he is living his best life, so I'm curious as to whether or not he's back on the dating scene. But let's take a look, because I saw something that was pretty interesting. And I'm not talking about Charisse Jackson that he was seen with, but we're going to talk about that too. Let's get into it.
It's lit. Happy birthday, fool. It's lit. Happy birthday, fool. It's lit. Happy birthday, fool.
So as you can see, honey, Mr. Chris Samuels is definitely back outside. He is out and about. Check him out. Hanging out with Magic Johnson. Well, you know Chris used to play for the Washington Redskins, now the Commanders, and Magic is now one of the owners. Honey, he's just doing the thing, zhuzhing it up all out there, as we can see. So being a curious person that I am, I said, I wonder if he's still following Monique. So I just kind of perused through and just kind of took a look-see. He's not, but as luck would have it, I did find something pretty interesting. He's actually following Samantha Lee, okay, which is Tyrese's ex-wife. Now, isn't that something? Because he's only following like 98 people, not even 100 people, okay? And not even a whole lot of women, but he is following her. I said, well, isn't that something? Is he interested? Is he going to shoot a shot? Is she his type? We don't know. Maybe he likes the relationship advice she gives. Who knows? Maybe it's her aesthetic. But either way, I said, well, let me check out her page. I didn't see where she was following him, honey, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything, child. So y'all be on the lookout for that should something occur. So let's move and mosey right on along. So I know y'all probably heard about him and that old messy ass Charisse Jordan Jackson. So shout out to the Pink Pop Box is where I got that. It says, man, oh man, the streets are talking in Potomac. Chris Samuels was seen out and about with Charisse, okay? So the reason this is such a big deal is because Monique allegedly said that Charisse was behind the affair rumors with the trainer all those seasons ago. And I'm reading this directly, and it says, now, I don't know about you, but I wouldn't be hanging out with a woman who said that about my soon-to-be ex-wife and myself. Now, that being said, perhaps this is just a simple friendship, and maybe the friendship's been going on for a little while. And I'm thinking maybe that's why Karen was a little hostile toward Charisse last season. See, I thought she was hostile to her about, the race stuff, but now I'm thinking it's more nuanced than that. Maybe Karen had a sense that this was happening, and since she still likes Monique, well, she was very mean to her. What y'all think? I think Charisse is messy as hell and a desperate old wench. Desperate as hell, okay? Now, I don't know what's worse, if Giselle would have went after the man or her. But I'm like, do you really have that much disdain toward Monique? Because remember the whole situation with the trainer, how they said allegedly Charisse was the one that put it out there that Monique was messing around with the trainer and the youngest son might be his and not Chris's child. That little boy looked just like Chris. I was like, shame on her. Ooh, child. The desperation of it all. Honey, we know you want to get your little champagne flute back or whatever the hell it is, Potomac Hole, peach, whatever, child. And we know you want to be back on the show, okay? So let's close this out by listening to a snippet of Monique, and she's going to tell her reasoning for the dissolution of the marriage. And it's really sad to see because, in my opinion, they had a really beautiful family dynamic. And I don't know, it's kind of rough out here in these streets, but I like the fact that Monique is not what they call a dick pig, okay? To where she's just so male identified, to where she's just going to hold on to a marriage or a place of where she isn't happy. But I know I did a video once before. Monique was on a spiritual journey, on an evolutionary journey of finding herself. But unfortunately, as she evolved, she wanted Chris to take that journey with her. But you can't put a timeline on someone else's growth and evolution, especially as she's getting more spiritually attuned and things like that. In my opinion, Chris is just a country boy, just a simple man. And quite frankly, he may be as evolved as he's going to get. But I tell you what, my homeboy has been working out in the gym and he has gotten his revenge body. Oh, yes, he has. Child, is he hanging out in these DMV and these Potomac streets, child? You know, somebody going to try to snatch that man up. But hopefully he takes the time that he needs in all seriousness to heal and to know what he wants in a relationship and just to find out who he is as a person post divorce. Yeah, because divorce is likened to a death. You know, let him go through the grieving process because he really wanted to hold on to the marriage. Whereas Monique was willing to let it go. Some people say she's going to regret that. Time will tell, but shout out to them and hopefully they can co parent in a healthy space. But let's check it out more.
Like the marriage becomes like a battlefield. So you get to a point where you also have to consider the fact that we have three little people that are literally looking at us and they're taking notes and they're like, okay, this is what's normal, and it's not normal. So that's where we are. You guys don't have to be sorry. It's just a part of life. Unfortunately, sometimes it happens. Some people stay married forever. Some people don't. My parents were married for 23 years and got divorced. I know couples that have been married for 60 years and they're miserable. And they literally let their whole life just fade away, you know? So it's really what you make it. And if you get to a point where you're like, you know what, we have grown so far apart that it may be best that we focus on ourselves individually and then focus on the three important people in our lives, which is our children. And that's what we decided to do. So let me see. How do you keep out the noise and find your balance and peace during this time? So one of the major things for me has been really finding myself. I've been on this self-love journey. I never realized how much I didn't love myself. That was like a huge revelation because I always felt because I'm a very secure person, I thought that was self-love. I wasn't aware of myself, you know. I was completely unaware of myself. Even watching last year when we were on Love and Marriage DC, I mean, I was going through it. Like I was yelling, I was upset. That was me crying out. That was me like really fighting. Like I was like on my last leg fighting for my marriage, and really hoping that we could see where each other was and try to get on the same page. But when I look back on it, even with the editing trickery, at the end of the day, my response was still my response, you know, and I take accountability for that. And I wouldn't want to be with a person like that is just like, yeah. But I also realized that my approach became that because I was so desperate, like to be heard. I was so desperate, like, come on, we got to make this work. But then you get to a point where you realize that begins to tear you down, yourself and the other person. And then you're trying to pick up the pieces and build it back. And it just becomes this roller coaster. You